Welcome back to the Think Changer. Pause for a second. Let's play out a scenario that is terrifyingly real. Imagine that tomorrow you simply vanish. You drop completely off the grid. No text messages, no email auto-replies, no social media updates, zero digital footprint. You are just gone. Now fast forward 90 days, 3 months. Do you want to know the cold, hard reality? The world wouldn't even blink. The machinery of society would grind on without a hitch. Your employer would find a replacement within a week. The job description would be posted before your chair even got cold. Your friends? They would have a few drinks in your honor, share a couple of stories, and then go right back to their group chats, their dinner plans, and their problems. The sun would rise, the traffic would jam, and the seasons would change. Your routine, that precious, comfortable little loop you've built your life around, would reset itself instantly, like water filling a hole in the ocean. The universe does not pause for you. Why am I telling you this? Is it to depress you? No. It is to wake you up. Most people don't fail in life because they are incapable or because they lack talent. They fail because they are essentially invisible to themselves. They are running on a treadmill that has been unplugged for years, sweating and panting, thinking they are winning a race when they haven't moved an inch. We love to lie to ourselves. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. You tell yourself, I'm hustling, I'm grinding, I'm building. But let's strip away the ego and look at the data. What does your hustle actually look like? You wake up and the first thing you do is hit snooze, negotiating with your own ambition and losing within the first 10 seconds of the day. You grab your phone, and for 20 minutes, you are essentially sedated by TikTok, Instagram, or X. You watch a 15-second clip of someone else working out or someone else being rich, and your brain tricks you into thinking you just accomplished something. You drag yourself out of bed, brew coffee while half watching a YouTube video about productivity hacks, and answer 3 emails. And somehow, you categorize this as a productive morning. Meanwhile, while you are wiping the sleep from your eyes, a teenager in Mumbai has already written 300 lines of code. An entrepreneur in Shanghai has already closed their first deal of the day. The people who actually run this world, the builders, the architects, the movers, do not start their day as consumers. They start as creators. Elon Musk isn't waking up and wondering what's trending on Twitter. He's wondering how to get humanity to Mars. Jeff Bezos wasn't building Amazon by scrolling through memes in his pajamas. They were executing while the rest of the world was still debating what to have for breakfast. And you? You scrolled. That is the brutal, unfiltered truth. Here is the first battlefront you need to conquer. It isn't your 5-year plan. It isn't your networking strategy. It is your morning. Specifically, the first 60 minutes after your eyes open. This singular hour is the rudder that steers the ship of your entire life. It dictates your neurochemistry, your emotional resilience, and your focus. If you lose the morning, you have effectively handed over the keys to your life for the rest of the day. If you start your day reactive, responding to texts, checking likes, reading the news, you are starting on your back foot. You are playing defense. You can buy all the planners, download the expensive organizational apps, and hire a life coach. But if your morning is chaotic and weak, the day will devour you. It is that simple. The solution doesn't require money. It requires a spine. It requires intentionality. It means you need to cultivate a period of sacred silence. The rule is simple but excruciatingly hard for modern addicts. Do not touch the digital world. Give your brain a chance to come online without the dopamine hit of a notification. Drink water. Move your body. Get the blood flowing to your brain so you can actually think. Sit with a pen and paper. Not a tablet. Paper. Write down the one single objective that makes today a win. I know. It's comfortable in bed. The pillow is soft, the room is cold, and the reality of the day feels heavy. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. Look at history. Do you think Steve Jobs lay in bed scrolling through cat videos looking for inspiration to build the Macintosh? Do you think Oprah spent her mornings arguing with strangers in comment sections? No. They designed their day before the world had a chance to design it for them. The difference between a person who looks back on December 31st with regret and the person who looks back with pride is usually found in how they spent the hour between 6 o'clock a.m. and 7 o'clock a.m. If you want 2025 or 2026 to look different than the last 5 years, you have to stop repeating the behaviors of the last 5 years. Fix the morning. Win the first hour. When you do that, you suddenly realize that the impossible becomes manageable. The lazy, the distracted, and the average will continue to hit snooze and scroll. Let them. You are quietly building a version of yourself they won't even recognize in 6 months. Now that you have secured the perimeter of your morning, we have to talk about the second silent killer. This one is more insidious because it often feels like work. It is the theft of your attention. We live in an attention economy. Trillion-dollar companies have hired the smartest neuropsychologists in the world with one singular goal: to keep your eyes glued to a screen so they can sell you ads. And right now, for most of you, they are winning. Analyze your day yesterday. Be honest. How many hours were spent on things that actually moved the needle? Versus how many hours were spent refreshing a feed, checking a dashboard, replying to a group chat that has zero relevance to your goals, or watching a video that you won't remember 10 minutes from now? We tell ourselves, I need to stay informed. I'm just decompressing. No, you're not. You are bleeding out. You are hemorrhaging your most valuable asset, your focus. Let's make this tangible. You had your good morning routine. Great. Then you sat down to work. But 10 minutes in, your phone buzzes. A WhatsApp message. You check it. It's a meme. You laugh. You reply. Then you see an Instagram notification. You click it. Suddenly, 20 minutes have vanished. You try to get back to work, but your brain is now fragmented. It takes you another 15 minutes to get back into the zone. Before you know it, the first 3 hours of your workday are gone. You feel busy, you feel tired, but you have produced nothing of value. Your skills haven't sharpened. Your project hasn't advanced. You are treading water. The people who move mountains, the high performers, guard their attention like a fortress. They are unavailable. They are hard to reach. They do not react to the pings and dings of the world. Do you think the CEO of a Fortune 500 company stops a board meeting because someone tagged them in a post? Of course not. So, how do you fight back in a world designed to distract you? You have to become ruthless. You need to perform an audit of your attention. Identify the leaks. Maybe it's the news. Maybe it's a specific friend who texts all day. Maybe it's the urge to check your email every 5 minutes. Pick one boundary to set today. Maybe you decide, no social media until 1 o'clock p.m. Or, the phone stays in the other room while I do deep work. It sounds small, but the impact is nuclear. You don't need more time. You have the same 24 hours as Beyoncé and the president. You don't need more energy. You have plenty of energy. You're just spending it on nonsense. What you need is focused, laser-like attention. 1 hour of deep, unbroken focus is worth 8 hours of distracted, fragmented work. If you can master this, you instantly separate yourself from 99% of the population who are walking around like zombies, reacting to every vibration in their pocket. We have fixed the morning. We have locked down your attention. Now we have to look at the environment. There is a third silent killer that acts like carbon monoxide. You can't always see it, but it is slowly suffocating your dreams. It is the people and the content you allow into your mind. Humans are permeable. We absorb the emotions, mindsets, and standards of the people around us. It is biological osmosis. This is why the old saying is true. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about your circle right now. How many times have you had a spark of excitement? A new business idea, a fitness goal, a desire to learn a language, and you shared it with a friend, only to hear, "Why bother? That's too hard." Or, "You? Really?" Or maybe they don't say anything, but they roll their eyes. Or consider the digital friends you follow. You scroll through posts that are constantly complaining about the economy, screaming about politics, or wallowing in victimhood. You might think you are immune, but you aren't. If you feed your brain a diet of garbage, do not be surprised when your life starts to smell like trash. If you hang out with people who complain, you will find things to complain about. If you hang out with people who gossip, you will become a gossip. But if you hang out with people who are building, learning, and growing, you will naturally rise to their level. Here is a painful example. You have that friend who loves to commiserate. They love to talk about how unfair life is. You meet them for coffee. You leave that interaction feeling drained, heavy, and cynical. That is a tax on your potential. Contrast that with the greats. Warren Buffett is incredibly selective about who he talks to. Bill Gates reads books to converse with the greatest minds in history. He doesn't scroll through drama. They treat their minds like a VIP club. There is a bouncer at the door, and not everyone gets on the list. You need to audit your circle. This is the hardest part for many people because it feels cold. But you have to ask yourself, is this person charging my battery or draining it? You might need to distance yourself from certain friends. You might need to mute family members on social media. You definitely need to unfollow any account that makes you feel inadequate, angry, or hopeless. Protecting your headspace is not selfish. It is an essential survival strategy. If you are trying to plant a garden, you don't let people come in and pour salt on the earth. Guard your mind. Because no matter how good your morning routine is, if your environment is toxic, you will eventually get sick. Now let's get brutally honest about the enemy within. The final boss in this game isn't society, it isn't your phone, and it isn't your friends. It is you. Specifically, it is your ability to rationalize excuses. There is a silent thief that steals more potential than any external force. It is the tiny, micro-compromise. It sounds like this. I'll start on Monday. I'm too tired today, I'll go harder tomorrow. One donut won't hurt. I don't have the right equipment yet. Here is the tragedy of that mindset. Tomorrow creates a feedback loop. Monday looks exactly like today. The perfect time is a myth. It does not exist. While you are waiting for the stars to align, someone else is working in the rain. Think about the psychology here. You set a goal to get in shape. Monday morning comes. The alarm goes off. It's raining outside. Your bed is warm. You say, I'll go tomorrow. In that moment, you didn't just miss a workout. You taught your brain that your word means nothing. You taught yourself that when things get slightly uncomfortable, you will fold. You are training yourself to be a quitter, and you become a world-class expert at making excuses. You become a lawyer for your own limitations, arguing deeply and passionately for why you can't do something. Do you think Serena Williams skipped practice because she wasn't feeling the vibe? Do you think incredible authors only write when they feel inspired? No. Professionals show up. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Greatness is not a result of one massive heroic effort. It is the aggregate of 1,000 tiny choices where you said yes when you wanted to say no. It is doing the work when nobody is watching. It is keeping the promises you make to yourself. The insidious thing about compromises is that they are invisible. Nobody arrests you for skipping the gym. Nobody fires you for procrastinating on your side hustle. But the damage compounds. One excuse invites another. Soon, a day becomes a week becomes a year, and you wake up 10 years later realizing you have spent a decade perfecting the art of doing nothing. So here is your challenge. Catch the excuse. The moment it rises in your throat, grab it and strangle it. Laugh at it. Oh, I'm too tired? That's funny. I'm doing it anyway. Choose one thing today that you will not compromise on. Just one. Execute it with military precision. Then do it again tomorrow. This builds a muscle called integrity. Once you stop negotiating with yourself, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable. Let's bring this all home with a visualization that should haunt you in the best way possible. I want you to imagine that your future self, the version of you 10 years from now, is real. They are alive right now, existing in a potential timeline. They are standing in the corner of your room, watching you. They are looking at you with a mix of desperation and hope. This future self is the product of the decisions you make today. They are wearing the body you are building or destroying right now. They are living with the financial reality you are creating right now. They are possessed of the skills you are learning or ignoring right now. Every time you pick up the phone to doom scroll for an hour, your future self winces. They write a note in their ledger that says, "Another hour wasted, another delay in our success." Every time you hit snooze, your future self sighs, realizing they will have to work that much harder to catch up. But conversely, every time you sit down and focus, every time you choose a salad over the junk food, every time you cut out a toxic influence, your future self nods. They are saying, "Thank you. Thank you for making the hard choice so I can live an easier life." The regret you feel when you look back at last year, that feeling of, "I should have started sooner," that is the echo of your future self whispering to you. You know you are capable of more. That nagging feeling in your gut isn't anxiety. It's your potential trying to claw its way out. Michael Jordan practiced shots when everyone else went home because he was playing for his future self. The student studying late at night while the dorm parties is working for their future self. They are delaying gratification now to buy freedom later. The harsh truth is that the clock is ticking. Your future self is waiting. They do not care about your mood. They do not care that you had a rough week. They care about results. They care about what you did. If you keep living the way you are living, will your future self be proud? Or will they look at you with disappointment, wondering why you let fear and laziness rob them of the life they deserved? The good news is that you can change the timeline. Right now, today. You can make a decision that alters the trajectory. You can put down the phone. You can do the work. You can step into the discomfort. Stop living for your present self, that version of you that just wants to be comfortable, entertained, and fed. That version is a child. Start parenting yourself. Start acting for the person you will be in December. Start acting for the person you will be in 2030. That person deserves respect. That person deserves success. But only you can give it to them. The world doesn't notice if you disappear, but you will notice if you never truly lived. Fix your morning. Guard your attention. Curate your circle. Kill your excuses. And make your future self proud. The time for talking is over. The time for scrolling is done. Go and build something real. Thank you for listening. If this message woke something up inside of you, do not let it go back to sleep. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs the truth. I'll see you in the next one.